The more invisible I become, the more death I have to endure. In the busy streets, a lively scene unfolds as a hand-dog puppet taunts a furious butcher, Boss Zen. Your pork stall sells melons. Are the melons ripe? Asks the puppet. The puppet snickers. Give me the melons. I don't want a bit of skin on them. The butcher snaps back. You little brat, are you looking for trouble? Yeah, I am. What are you gonna do? Chop me? The puppet retorts. Butcher Zen raises his knife menacingly. I'll cut you into minced meat. From the side, a figure steps forward, Chow Mu, with a solemn expression. Oh, you're a martial artist indeed. Butcher Zen, you killed the whole Chow family. Today, I will take your life. With a dramatic flourish, Chow Mu removes his dog puppet and declares, Behold, Radio Calisthenics number 8. Suddenly, punching sounds fill the air as Chow Mu strikes. However, Chow Mu, making a love sign with his thumb and peace on the other, is quickly overwhelmed by Butcher Zen. As he collapses to the ground in pain, he gasps. Urgh! His soul slips from his body, and a fountain of strawberry-colored juice gushes from his head. A system notification coldly announces, Chow Mu, dead. As his body grows pale, he mutters, this, before fading away. Butcher Zen, hopping onto a wooden horse with wheels, scoffs, Freak, I didn't hold back. A spectator shouts, He killed someone. Don't let him escape. Amidst the commotion, Chow Mu's body begins to glow as a mysterious energy emerges from his corpse. Nearby, Chow Mu hides in a corner, clutching his side. It hurts so much getting chopped alive. A few moments later, he sneaks back toward his body and murmurs, I died so horrifically. System, please let me level up more. He searches for his wallet and retrieves it, relieved. A system notification appears. Death rating. C skill points awarded. 10 skill points remaining. 27-day revive limit. 4 out of 5 skill increase costs. 5 points immortality punch skill mastery beginner. 100% other rewards. Increased aura. Chow Mu's eyes widen with excitement. Level C. This is my first C rating, and I immediately mastered the beginner immortality punch. Wait, this decreased my skill points. So, is this the correct way of using the system? Exchanging skill points for skill set mastery. 5 points gives me the beginner immortality punch. I wonder what the remaining 20 points can get me. System, max out immortality punch. The system responds, the host's rating is unqualified. Unlock failed. The system will distribute points randomly. Chow Mu complains, hey, isn't this basically encouraging me to die more? Sniffing his finger, still smeared with traces from his own corpse, he mutters. That's fine. I can test this against Butcher Zen. Miss Snow said he's a secret member of the martial arts faction. I can't let him get away. He's got to kill me a few more times at least. As the winds whip through the streets, the scene shifts to a quiet area outside the city. Butcher Zen writes a letter muttering, Master, I couldn't resist today and killed some kid. He claimed to be seeking revenge for the Chow family. But we erased the Chow family half a year ago. There are no descendants. How suspicious. He seals the letter and attaches it to a pigeon, mumbling, could it be that we really missed someone from the Chow family and he's seeking revenge? No matter what, all of the Chow family is now dead. Luckily, I killed them quickly. Suddenly, he senses movement and turns. Who's there? Chow Mu steps out from the shadows. Butcher Zen gasps, Ah, aren't you dead? As the pigeon flies away, Chow Mu declares, I am Chow Ching, you killed my brother Chow Mu. I'll make you pay the price. He leaps at Butcher Zen, shouting, My secret technique, 100% bare hand blade catch. Butcher Zen swings his knife with blinding speed, sneering. Damn! Chow Mu's hand is sliced between his fingers like a hot dog. Despite the pain, Chow Mu grits his teeth and taunts, Your blade is in my hand now. Scared yet? Butcher Zen raises an eyebrow. Scared? Bro, do you want to take a look at your hand first? Chow Mu, fighting back tears, boasts, I caught it, didn't I? Kill me if you can. He thinks to himself, it hurts so bad, but I have to remain boastful. Butcher Zen, confused by the spectacle, mutters, You're crazy. You and your brother have both lost it. He tugs at his knife, but it doesn't budge. Chow Mu seizes the opportunity and lands a punch square on Butcher Zen's face. Butcher Zen's thoughts race, I can't. Move it. He growls, You're Chow Ching, right? You're different from your brother. I can see that you've trained hard in martial arts. I wasn't focused, but it won't happen again. 5 minutes later, Chow Mu is sent flying by Butcher Zen's powerful strike. As he lands, the system declares, Chow Ching, dead. Butcher Zhen catches his breath, muttering, "This kid sought revenge for his brother without fearing death. He's a hero, all right, just a bit crazy." Things have changed. If I sent that letter just now, it would have misled the master. Butcher Zhen turns to see Chao Mu's corpse glowing once more. Suddenly, a wooden stick flew towards Butcher Zhen. Chao Mu, full of fury, shouted, "You dare kill my brother, Li Qing? Hand over your life." With a powerful kick, he launched himself through the air toward Butcher Zhen. The startled pigeon looked on as Butcher Zhen sneered, "Very well. If you all seek death, I'll kill you all." The pigeon flapped its wings and flew away carrying the unfinished letter. Inside the house, Chao Mu and Butcher Zhen clashed fiercely. A few moments later, Butcher Zhen lay on the ground, gasping for breath and spitting out strawberry-colored blood. He muttered, "An older one appears after I kill the younger one. Is there any end to this? How many of them are there?" A system notification popped up. Death rating, D skill points awarded, 6 skill points remaining, 31 7-day revive limit, 1 out of 5 skill increase cost. 2 points immortality, punch skill mastery, intermediate, 40% other rewards, increased aura. Chao Mu assessed the situation, reflecting on his progress. I died 4 times. The first time decreased 5 points, and I gained the beginner immortality punch. The second time, it decreased 2 points, and I reached 20% mastery. The remaining points decreased 1 each time, pushing my mastery to 40%, but my death rating fell. It seems like the higher the mastery, the more points it costs, and the fewer points I get back. I can't keep grinding against one person. He thought to himself, I only have 1 more revive left. It'll be tough to get real revenge. Maybe I should wait 7 days and come back stronger? No, this is the perfect chance. Butcher Zhen is weakened from fighting Bro 2, Bro 3, and Bro 4. I have a better chance now. It's the perfect chance to attack. The 4th time we fought, with only 20% mastery in the immortality punch, we were pretty much even. With the increase, I have a better chance. It's worth a shot. I'll finish him and then find Miss Snow for new skills. Butcher Zhen, staring at the lifeless yet eerily smiling corpse of Chao Mu, muttered, "These kids all look alike, and each one is stronger than the last. Their punches hit harder, their skills grow sharper. The last one was on par with me. I probably couldn't handle another one." But just then Chao Mu reappeared, sneering, "Of course there is." Butcher Zhen, trembling with exhaustion, turned to see Chao Mu grinning like a demon. Before he could react, Chao Mu unleashed his skill, striking directly at Butcher Zhen's neck. Heavenly justice. A final system notification appeared. Butcher Zhen dead. Chao Mu rummaged through Butcher Zhen's pockets, collecting a handful of bronze coins, one by one. As he juggled the coins, he smirked. Is this the secret letter he was about to deliver to the martial arts faction? The intel that Chao Kenshu gave was spot on. This butcher was really involved in the massacre of the Chao family. The first time he killed me, I got a rating of C. Maybe the rating is tied to the strength of the opponent. I should test this further. He glanced at another sealed letter and mused, I can't decipher this one. I'll let Miss Snow take a look. Maybe she can pull some valuable information from it. A few moments later, in the alleyways of Outer Yan City, Chao Mu shouted towards a secluded house. Miss Snow, I'm back. Miss Snow, a mysterious woman veiled in elegance, opened the door slowly. She reached out and touched the brim of Chao Mu's hat, her expression wary. Where have you been? She asked sharply. Suddenly, her keen senses picked up something amiss. Wait, your voice, it's different. You're not Chao Mu. Chao Mu removed his hat and thought to himself, as expected from a blind girl, her senses are sharp. My aura and strength have changed. I become stronger. He pushed forward, trying to reassure her. Sis, it's just puberty. Everyone goes through it. Miss Snow raised an eyebrow skeptically. Is that so? I don't believe you. How can you prove you're Chao Mu? Chao Mu thought for a moment, then blurted out. Is Ning really not your surname? He hoped she would remember this peculiar question he often asked her. In a montage of past scenes, Chao Mu's voice echoed, Is Ning really not your surname? Spoken outside her house, whispered in passing, and giggled during idle chats. Miss Snow's tense demeanor softened as she recalled those moments. She leaned closer, pressing against Chao Mu and sniffing his scent. Chao Mu's thoughts raced with elation. I'm really a lucky guy. As he sat nervously, Eminem Snow finally said, It's really you. You still smell the same. She sat down, her expression serious. After the Chao family's demise, my eyes began to change, a sign that the divine sight is awakening. Soon, nothing will be able to hide from me. Don't even think about trying to deceive me. Chao Mu rolled his eyes internally. Divine sight? Yeah, right. But he outwardly responded, yes, 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 I wouldn't dream of it. And don't forget, you're the last surviving member of the Chao family. The legendary martial artist spared you because of your talent. Chao Mu, determined and unyielding, looked at Miss Snow and said, Sis, when are you going to teach me the next chapter of the immortality punch? Miss Snow, keeping her composure, replied, Don't set your hopes too high too soon. If you want to become truly skilled, you first need more aura and strength. This takes years at least. Chao Mu insisted, I want to seek revenge for you, sis. Didn't we agree initially? You teach me the immortality punch and I'd avenge the Chao family. I feel like I have plenty of strength already. Miss Snow sighed, exasperated, and remarked, How stubborn. She reached out, grabbed Chao Mu's hands and demanded, Come here, show me what you've got. As she grasped his arm, she froze, realizing the sheer density of his muscles. Shocked, she quickly pulled back her hands and exclaimed, Ah! What did you make me touch? Chao Mu looked at her with confusion and replied, My biceps, what did you think it was? He flexed his arms, revealing his newfound strength. Miss Snow's cheeks flushed slightly as she stammered, We've only known each other for a month, and you've already grown this much? Are you some kind of martial arts prodigy? She hesitated before touching his arm again, marveling at his progress. Strength is a fundamental skill with no shortcuts, but you. Chao Mu took the opportunity to press further. Since you think I've done a good job, why not teach me now? He thought to himself, the immortality punch. A secret skill of the Yang family. Once I fully master it, I'll reach a stage where I can age but remain as strong. This will be my path to divinity. Ms. Snow, still recovering from her astonishment, said, You've done well, but it's only been a month. Even though Butcher Zhen never mastered his punch, he had the strength of a few hundred kilos in his arms. Once your training is complete and you've slain him, I'll teach you the rest. Chao Mu couldn't contain his excitement. You don't have to wait for the future. I've already finished him. I've slain the butcher. Miss Snow's eyes widened in disbelief. Impossible. Chao Mu continued, Not only did I kill him, but I also found this secret letter. I can't make sense of the tadpole script on it, though. Miss Snow's expression turned serious. A tadpole script letter? That's a secret communication method for the martial arts faction. It seems you really killed him, she muttered to herself, trying to process the reality of Chao Mu's achievements. She then said aloud, Since you've defeated him, I'll keep my word and teach you the remaining sections of the immortality punch. Sit and meditate before me and listen closely. Chao Mu concentrated as Ms. Snow taught him, murmuring the principles of the technique. That which has form is false, and that which is formless is true. She guided him through the concepts of power and balance, adding, Everything is void, little is true. After about half an hour, a system notification flashed, Immortality Punch, advanced, 40%. Chao Mu frowned. There's no change to the mastery. The system is much more efficient than learning through meditation. He resolved, I need to find enemies stronger than the butcher and challenge them. He glanced at Miss Snow, who had taken out a small, well-worn book with a note that read, Secret. She handed it to him and said, This is the key to decoding the tadpole script. Look through it and read to me what the letter says. Chao Mu took the book, thinking to himself, She can't see, but she found this decoding key with no trouble. Is she really blind, or could she be faking it? As he studied the text, he deciphered, the letter says, The Crimson Emperor is planning to leave the capital soon, and the martial arts faction intends to summon all of its members. His eyes widened with realization. It's an assassination! Miss Snow's voice grew tense. Where is the faction planning to assassinate the Emperor? Are there any details about the location or time? Chao Mu shook his head, frustrated. The key is missing parts. I can only decipher fragments, no precise time or place. Miss Snow sat back, contemplating. How dare the martial arts faction? But they're likely capable of going through with this plan. Chao Mu asked, Is the faction really this powerful? Miss Snow's expression darkened. I told you before that the faction, under the legendary martial artist, wiped out the entire Chao family, but I didn't explain why. This martial artist, known as the second strongest supreme martial arts master, founded the faction and obliterated rival gangs and factions. He seized their secret arts and allowed his followers to study them freely. The Chao family's immortality punch was a divine gift to our ancestors. and that very gift sealed our fate. Her voice turned cold with anger. I taught you the immortality punch not with the hope that you could defeat him. But one day, when your skills mature, you might be able to weaken him enough so that I can strike the final blow myself. Xiaomu watched as she trembled with barely restrained rage. Then he spoke up. I have an idea. Maybe I can somehow join the faction. Miss Snow looked at him in disbelief. Have you lost your mind? You want to join the faction? Xiaomu slammed his hand on the table, determination flashing in his eyes. I'll join the faction, work my way in, and take on the assassination mission for them. I'll turn the Imperial Court and the faction against each other. If I can't infiltrate them, I'll keep defeating their members and try to uncover the entire plan. When the time comes, I'll act as the assassin and provoke the Imperial Court's wrath, giving you a chance for revenge. Miss Snow shook her head, horrified. You're insane. A plan like that will get you killed. Xiaomu, his thoughts racing with the thrill of the challenge, smirked inwardly. This is my chance to become the Emperor's assassin. If I die while on such a mission, people will remember me. My death rating will be high. Plus, the faction, founded by the second strongest martial artist, holds countless secret arts. It's the perfect place to level up my skills. He turned to Miss Snow, his voice unwavering. Since the martial artist is as strong as you say, getting revenge is almost impossible. The most we can do is cause them some trouble. This plan is the best option. Miss Snow's expression grew pained. But you'll die. Xiaomu's face grew serious, masking his internal excitement. What's there to fear? He barely suppressed a chuckle, feeling the thrill of his risky plan. Miss Snow watched him closely, thinking to herself, there's no hint of deception, just excitement. He's really serious about this. But why would he risk his life like this? The immortality punch isn't worth dying for. What more could he want? Her mind wandered to a shocking thought. Could it be? He wants my body. Seeing her expression, Xiaomu raised an eyebrow. What are you thinking about now? Blushing, Miss Snow stammered. I owe you a great debt of gratitude. Is there nothing I can do for you? She felt her hand tremble as she mentally scolded herself. Like a true warrior, Xiaomu. How could I even think such thoughts? I shouldn't have. Xiaomu turned away, leaning casually against the door and smirked. Doll, there is something that only you can do. Miss Snow's eyes widened. What is it? He pointed at her, a teasing grin playing on his lips. Hey, it's a secret. Miss Snow blinked in confusion, then sighed, half in relief and half in exasperation. Okay. Xiaomu shifted gears, his tone sharpening. That's enough. Do you know of any other members of the martial arts faction nearby? Miss Snow straightened and answered quickly. Yes, the Lord of Yan City, Guo Yan. Elsewhere in the streets of Yan City, chaos reigned. A young man with a sinister smirk whipped people with his guards at his side. That bastard from the Guo family is here. Run away, one man shouted, scrambling to flee. A panicked friend pleaded, Young Master Guo, please spare me. A guard announced arrogantly, Young Master Guo is passing by. All scramble. Young Master Guo's gaze swept the streets until it fell upon a young woman with a sword. He pointed and barked, Bring that beauty over here. The girl drew her sword defiantly, her eyes blazing. How dare you, you shameless brat. I'd rather die than follow your orders. Two shirtless, muscular guards grabbed Jiang Lang, the girl's companion, who was just as shocked as the girl. Sir, the young master is summoning you, they said with an eerie calm. Jiang Lang blinked, baffled. Huh? The girl, trembling, realized something with dismay. The beauty he's referring to. Is Jiang Lang? Jiang Lang flushed in embarrassment. How shameless! She glared at the man, raising her sword. Jiang Lang, let me help you. Today we'll teach this brat a lesson. Young Master Guo's smile turned cold as he ordered. Put this woman in her place. The two shirtless guards lunged forward with brutal force. Jiang Lang was overwhelmed, struggling under their grip. What kind of weird move is this? He cried out. As the struggle continued, a shadowy figure silently watched from a nearby rooftop, Xiaomu assessing the scene below. Then, in a swift movement, he leaped down, creating a blast behind him that scattered the guards. One of the guards called out, Young Master! Xiaomu swiftly grabbed young Master Guo by the neck, lifting him off the ground. The guards panicked. The young master has been abducted. Young Master Guo thrashed in his grip. Let me go, kid. My father is the lord of this city. Xiaomu raised an eyebrow. So, what? Young Master Guo stammered. My dad is coming soon. You won't escape, and when he gets here, you'll be begging for death. Chao Mu's thoughts raced. Isn't that perfect? Originally, I planned to kill this brat and get taken down by his bodyguards, but if his father kills me instead, wouldn't the death rating be even higher? A system notification suddenly appeared. Immortality punch, heroic action, estimated death rating loading. Death rating C increasing. A grin crept onto Chao Mu's face. This is the first time a death rating notification has appeared. Even the system agrees with me. Meanwhile, Zhang Lang called out, "Thank you, hero, for helping us. But this man is too powerful. We don't want to get you in trouble. Please leave now." But Chao Mu ignored the plea and slapped young Master Guo's face repeatedly. The guards cried out in dismay, "Young Master!" The girl, perplexed, muttered, "Hero?" Chao Mu, holding young Master Guo firmly, growled, "Don't you dare move or I'll kill him." Young Master Guo's defiance crumbled into desperation. "Please spare me. This whole city belongs to my family. Whatever you want, I'll give you. Just don't kill me." Chao Mu leaned in closer, his voice turning cold and deliberate. "Don't surrender now. Get your dad over here." He struck young Master Guo's face again, sending a resounding slap through the air. In the distance, the sound of galloping hooves approached rapidly. Chao Mu turned to see a large group of riders arriving, led by a stern-faced man. Young Master Guo, bruised and desperate, cried out, "Dad!" Chao Mu's eyes narrowed as he identified the newcomer. "He's Guo Yan. He looks formidable." Guo Yan's voice boomed like thunder. "Shut up!" Chao Mu observed him closely, noting the power in his aura. Guo Yan has clearly mastered martial arts. He can generate such force with just a single shout. Guo Yan's eyes scanned Chao Mu critically. This kid's aura is weak. He's only a beginner martial artist. But for him to lift a person so easily, his arm strength is impressive. Chao Mu locked eyes with the Lord of Yan City, while Guo Yan revealed a pulsing purple aura that enveloped him like a shroud. The confrontation was just beginning. As the guard behind him prepared to move, Chao Mu's focus sharpened. He could feel the immense pressure from Guo Yan's aura weighing heavily on him, making his body ache with a throbbing pain. Sweat dripped down his face as he tightened his grip around young Master Guo's neck and barked, "Stop!" Guo Yan eased his stance slightly, observing the young man with a hint of curiosity. He can still speak under such pressure? Most people would be too overwhelmed to even talk. He's quite daring. Guo Yan mused. Trying a diplomatic approach, Guo Yan spoke, "My young friend, don't be rash. Let's talk this through. My son has indeed gone too far, but please, let him go. I promise to be more strict with him in the future." Chao Mu was taken aback, his thoughts scrambling. "What?" I made an intentionally irritating expression. "Why is he apologizing? Shouldn't he be threatening me? How am I supposed to provoke him into killing me like this?" A system notification appeared. Heroic action, estimated death rating C increasing. Chao Mu's internal tension lightened slightly. The death rating hasn't dropped yet. I still have a chance. With renewed resolve, he challenged Guo Yan. "Your son is abducting people randomly on the streets. Do you think one apology is enough to fix that?" Guo Yan smiled, a touch of condescension in his tone. "These two are disciples of the lunar faction. Your founder and I go back a long way. I will send 200 taels of sterling silver as an apology another day. Could they forgive my son's disgraceful behavior?" The girl whispered to her brother, "He knows who we are." Is this a veiled threat? Zhang Lang, weighing their options, muttered to himself, "But this city is under his control. There's really nothing we can do." To their surprise, the girl addressed Guo Yan. "My lord, you've been too generous. We've just arrived in Yan City and may have made our own share of mistakes." The crowd, watching from a distance, murmured among themselves, "This is it? What about all the people his son has hurt?" Sigh, this isn't the first time. Best to stay out of trouble. Chao Mu's voice suddenly rang out, cutting through the chatter. "Guo Yan, do you really think that as long as you pay some money and apologize, everything will be forgiven? It seems like you've cleaned up after your son many times. But he whips people publicly, and this isn't his first abduction attempt. What about those he's killed or injured? How do you compensate for that?" "No, I think he must pay with his life." With each word, Chao Mu tightened his grip on young Master Guo's throat, causing him to gasp for breath. Guo Yan, sensing the situation's gravity, thought to himself, "This kid is relentless. He's not going to listen." What a troublesome case. He addressed Chao Mu directly. "How about you tell me, what must I do for you to release my son?" Chao Mu's response was blunt. "Release him? It's simple. Only when I die." He held his stance, clutching young Master Guo firmly. The tension thickened, and one of the spectators whispered, "He's just a passerby, yet he's willing to stand up for justice and sacrifice his life?" Guoyan's eyes hardened. It seems there's no more room for discussion. Suddenly, an old man appeared, dashing towards them with astonishing speed. Qiao Mu barely registered the movement before he felt a powerful force strike him. He dropped young Master Guo as the old man's iron grip restrained him, pinning him to the ground. The system notification flashed again. Heroic action estimated death rating, C increasing. Despite his dire situation, Qiao Mu felt a rush of excitement. "Let's go! My first high-rated death, here I come!" But as Guoyan approached, his expression shifted. "Kid, what is your name?" With a fierce determination, Qiao Mu declared, "I'm Qiao Mu, and I have no one backing me up. Kill me without any worry." His thoughts raced. "Come on, do it! What are you waiting for?" But Guoyan, to Qiao Mu's utter shock, responded with calm admiration. "You're quite the daring one indeed. Release him." The old man and Qiao Mu were both caught off guard. Guoyan continued, "Qiao Mu, you're very brave and clearly not an ordinary man." Qiao Mu's heart sank. "No, what's wrong with this script?" Guoyan offered, "If you wish to join my army and serve your country, report to my estate anytime." Qiao Mu's inner frustration bubbled over. "I was ready to die. Why is he offering me a job?" Young Master Guo, still shaken, was helped to his feet by one of the muscular guards. He whined, "Dad!" With a sharp slap, Guoyan snapped, "Shut up! I've been too lenient with you. Guards, take him back." Mounting his horse, Guoyan glanced back at Qiao Mu, his expression serious. "Qiao Mu, if you're interested, come find me at my estate anytime." As the wind swept through the scene, Qiao Mu stood there, stunned and defeated by the unexpected outcome. He felt like his resolve had turned to stone, unmoved and unfulfilled. In the crowd, a boy remarked, "The young master may be spoiled, but the Lord seems to have some sense." His friend agreed, "The Lord is quite forgiving. That warrior is lucky to be recognized by him. If he joins the Lord's army, he'll have a stable future." Qiao Mu, unable to contain his frustration any longer, let out a wail, his voice trembling with bitter disappointment. He cursed the sky and cried, "We've been playing this game for so long. The atmosphere was perfect. I even had my final words ready. So why am I still alive? They're truly evil, these two, refusing to kill me." As the system notification displayed heroic action and estimated death rating, see Qiao Mu's mind raced. The immortality lock is still active? That means the death rating is still increasing. My death rating didn't reset even after the Lord left. Does that mean, if I die now, I can still get a relatively high rating? He contemplated this realization with a mix of confusion and thrill. But why would it work like this? What's different about me now? Suddenly, cheers erupted around him. Qiao Mu snapped out of his thoughts and noticed the people looking at him with admiration. He smirked to himself, piecing things together. "I get it. If I die now, I'll die as the hero who stopped the Lord's spoiled son instead of some random nobody. So, this is how the system works. The more fame and recognition I gain, the higher my death rating. Whether I survive or perish, I still win." Imagining his glorious end, the system's notification rang in his head. Death rating, SS rank. Qiao Mu's eyes gleamed with excitement. It'll be a high-quality, epic death. As he lost himself in daydreams, Zhang Lang, standing nearby, observed Qiao Mu's strange expressions and mumbled, "What's going on with him?" In another part of Yan City, young Master Guo winced as his wounds were treated. He groaned, "Ow, ow, ow. Dad, why are you recruiting that brat Qiao Mu instead of teaching him a lesson?" Guoyan, the lord of Yan City, waved his concern aside. "Why be so impatient? Stop worrying about him." Inwardly, Guoyan mulled over the situation. When Qiao Mu was captured, the expressions on my people's faces showed how much they despise my disobedient son. If I had killed Qiao Mu in front of them, my reputation as a benevolent lord would have been ruined. It's much better to recruit him. It calms the people and wins their approval. Guoyan turned to his son with a stern expression. "You disobedient boy! You've deserved this punishment for a long time, or you'll end up in serious trouble sooner or later. For the next month, don't even think about stepping foot outside the estate." "But why?" young Master Guo whined. Guoyan's face darkened. "Around that time, His Highness may visit Yan City. Keeping you here is to keep you from getting yourself killed." Young Master Guo's face paled. "The Crimson Emperor? How reliable is this information?" Guoyan sighed. How could the Emperor inform your father directly about his plans? There's no telling what kind of assassins it might attract. Young Master Guo hesitated, then changed the subject. But that Xiao Mu, do you really think he'll accept your invitation to join the Yan City army? Guo Yan smirked. Whether he joins or not, I have my ways of dealing with him. If he joins, it'll make things much easier. There are plenty of bandits up in the East Mountain. I'll just send him there. Elsewhere, on the rooftop of Miss Snow's residence, she looked at Xiao Mu with a hint of concern. You beat up his son, yet he still wants to recruit you. He's definitely up to something. Xiao Mu shrugged with a mischievous grin. That's exactly why I'm going, Miss Snow sighed, a look of exasperation crossing her face. From her robes, she produced a small scroll hidden in the folds of her clothing. If you're so determined to pursue this path that might get you killed, then take this. It's a secret art that I can teach you. Xiao Mu's eyes widened in curiosity. Oh? He took the scroll, inhaling the aged scent of the parchment and feeling a strange thrill from the mysterious technique. Miss Snow explained, this is the secret martial arts collection of the Chao family. It grants you explosive power, potentially doubling your aura, but at the cost of tearing your muscles apart. Xiao Mu's excitement grew as he read the title. Celestial Demon Dismantling Technique. This is incredible. He thought to himself, this is awesome. Miss Snow, however, looked at him seriously. Of course, you need to train and develop your aura first to use this technique. Xiao Mu, your boldness and determination are admirable, and that mindset can resonate with martial arts, allowing you to improve faster than most. As Xiao Mu began studying the scroll, the system notified him, importing Celestial Demon Dismantling Technique. Miss Snow shook her head, sighing as she watched him. I didn't give you this technique just for you to sacrifice yourself recklessly. I hope it'll give you a chance to survive better. Xiao Mu glanced at her and smiled. I understand. But as he turned back to his studies with a grin, Miss Snow could only sigh deeply, feeling a mix of worry and hope for the young warrior. At the Yan City army camp, Xiao Mu gripped a spear, thrusting it forward with forceful precision. He mused to himself, since ancient times, spear users have had E-rank luck, making them more prone to an early death. Let's hope this serves as a good omen. In the distance, a few soldiers watched him practice. That's Xiao Mu? He doesn't look like much, probably still in the strength training stage. Another soldier scoffed. A Class 9 warrior with aura can become a centurion. What's he got going for him? A third soldier added, probably connections. He's reckless enough to challenge the Lord's son and gain a bit of fame. The Lord, being all magnanimous, praised his courage and made an exception for him. Just watch, he won't last long in the harsh battlegrounds. As Xiao Mu continued his training, a system notification flashed, Immortality Punch. Aura training phase advanced at 40% Spear Mastery Beginner, at 100% Celestial Demon Dismantling Technique Beginner. At 100%, Xiao Mu felt a surge of satisfaction and thought, I've learned a new skill. Now when do I get to die and level up? Just then, a voice called out from behind him. Hey kid, I heard you're looking to buy some martial arts books? Xiao Mu nodded and said, yeah, Mr. Yellow, you got them? The soldier looked a bit puzzled. Boss, I'm Mr. White. His friend nearby chimed in teasingly, your teeth are so yellow, why do they call you White? The friend laughed and continued, ha ha, I'm calling you Mr. Yellow from now on. Mr. White, now begrudgingly known as Mr. Yellow, waved them off. Shoo, I don't have time for you guys. He turned to Xiao Mu, more serious now. Boss, I've got a physical technique here. You interested? A physical technique? Xiao Mu asked, intrigued. He thought to himself, I haven't obtained aura yet. Having a physical technique for defense could be a good idea. A bald soldier with yellow teeth overheard and warned, Boss, you might want to ask what physical skill Mr. Yellow is offering before jumping in. Xiao Mu raised an eyebrow. What is it? Mr. Yellow grinned, flashing his stained teeth. Dong. Xiao Mu's mind conjured up a bizarre image, a man attempting to cut through an impossibly tough object, only to have his blade snap in two and a shard lodge itself in the man's bald head. Xiao Mu smirked and announced confidently, Xiao Mu love to study various martial arts. I'll take this iron crotch technique. Oh, name your price. He thought to himself, the crotch area is a vulnerable spot. Gotta make sure it's well protected. Mr. Yellow shook his head. Boss, don't worry about the money. Consider this iron crotch technique a gesture of respect. His face suddenly darkened as he looked back, remembering something painful. He spoke quietly to Xiao Mu. 4 months ago, my pregnant wife was whipped by the young Guo master. We couldn't save the baby. My wife barely survived, but she's still weak. Boss, you avenged me, so I owe you one. Xiao Mu's expression softened. I didn't do it for a favor. I won't take your technique for free, and I'll find a way to pay you back in the future. Mr. Yellow shook his head with a bitter smile. Pay me back? This is me paying you back. Just then he glanced toward the camp. Boss, Lieutenant Chu is looking for you. Xiao Mu took the scroll containing the technique with a quiet nod. A soldier ran toward them, and Xiao Mu smiled silently to himself, feeling a mix of anticipation and determination. A short while later, at the camp, Lieutenant Chu briefed Xiao Mu about their mission. On the East Mountain, there's a savage man named Song He, known as the Thief King. He held up a miniature flag, then dropped it with disdain. He's a mere thief, and he dares to call himself a king. What a joke! Xiao Mu listened intently as Lieutenant Chu continued. Song He has stolen silver from the imperial court and countless other valuables. He's behind hundreds of crimes in just 6 months. He's also extremely lustful, kidnapping many women. Some of the lucky ones return, but those who aren't so fortunate, they die in his pigsty. Lieutenant Chu's voice trembled with anger, his eyes glistening as he thought of the victims. Xiao Mu's own expression hardened, fury blazing in his eyes. He's a savage beast. This thief must be removed. We must do it. Lieutenant Chu nodded. Yes, so I've prepared a 1,000-man army. In 5 days, we will go and attack him. I've heard that you're extremely courageous. You'll lead the charge in this battle. How does that sound? Xiao Mu clenched his fists, a determined expression on his face. Yes, sir. He turned and walked out of the camp, muttering to himself, a 1,000-man army, so there are 10 centurions. Besides me, they're all Class 9 warriors, but they picked me to lead. He smirked, the realization hitting him. They say I'm courageous? What a stupid excuse. It must be the Lord's scheme. Looks like it's finally time to die and level up. A wild laugh escaped him as he exited the camp. Lieutenant Chu watched him go, muttering under his breath, is this kid dumb or actually confident? Why would he agree so easily? I have to be careful. I can't mess up the Lord's orders. 5 days later, at the East Mountain, Mr. Yellow led the way. Boss, I know this area pretty well. Should I guide us? Xiao Mu nodded. Sure, but stay cautious. If anything feels wrong, hide behind me immediately. Mr. Yellow grinned. Boss, you're the kindest person I've ever met. Don't worry, I won't be a burden. Xiao Mu's tone grew stern. That is an order. Mr. Yellow nodded quickly, and Xiao Mu thought to himself, finally, I get a chance to die. I can't let him mess it up. As they moved through the dense underbrush, Mr. Yellow casually swung his blade through the tall grass. He turned to Xiao Mu, a nostalgic look in his eyes. Boss, did you know my son is so strong he can lift a 150-kilogram stone and he's only 15? What were you like at that age? Xiao Mu's expression turned dark as he recalled a memory. The Butcher Zhen. He killed me 4 times. When I was 15, I got killed by Butcher Zhen. Xiao Mu replied with a wry smile. Mr. Yellow snorted, waving off the statement. Aha! I call bullcrap. Xiao Mu rolled his eyes. Shut up and lead the way. But just then, Xiao Mu's keen senses picked up something in the distance. He tensed and muttered, Without warning, arrows rained down on them. Xiao Mu acted quickly, kicking Mr. Yellow out of the way. The soldier let out a surprised grunt. Urgh! Facing the incoming barrage, Xiao Mu swung his spear in a wide arc, shouting, Tornado decimates trailer park. He spun the weapon rapidly, creating a makeshift shield that deflected many of the arrows. But as the chaos died down, Xiao Mu found himself pierced by several arrows. He staggered back, gritting his teeth. Those TV shows are definitely fake. He thought bitterly, trying to maintain his balance. Nearby, a soldier called out in confusion, Boss! Suddenly, 3 bandits leaped out from the shadows, weapons drawn, and rushed toward the disoriented group. As Mr. Yellow Teeth stared in shock, Xiao Mu's gaze sharpened on the approaching figures. Thieves! I finally see the thieves! That means I'm going to die soon. The immortality lock glowed again, pulsating with energy. It seems the better I fight, the higher the death rating. No one can stop me from dying today. Follow me, I'll lead you guys, Xiao Mu shouted, pushing forward into the fray. The battle erupted as they clashed with the bandits. One soldier blocked an attack, exclaiming, Wah! Meanwhile, Xiao Mu thrust his spear into 2 bandits, swiftly stepping on one to retrieve his weapon and continuing his advance. From a distance, a soldier remarked, He's brutal against them. The bandits, realizing they were outmatched, began to flee, screaming, "Ah!" Xiao Mu scoffed. Is this all you've got?" He glanced over his shoulder, grimacing as he pulled an arrow from his arm. "Give me some medicine to stop the bleeding." "Boss, you blocked 3 arrows for me. I, Mr. Yellow, have nothing to repay you with," Mr. Yellow exclaimed, slamming his head against the ground in gratitude. No, that's not necessary," Xiao Mu replied, waving him off. After a brief treatment, Xiao Mu remarked, "Yeah, these thieves are indeed weak. I wanted to die, but they're just too pathetic. I've got to try harder next time." The bald monk chimed in, "Boss, is this how you repay Mr. Yellow?" "What? Do you have something to give me too?" Xiao Mu retorted. "I didn't bring it, but I'll give it to you as soon as we get back to town." A general willing to shield his soldiers is too rare these days. "Mr. Yellow's life is in your hands," the bald monk said earnestly. Mr. Yellow resumed, slamming his face on the ground, thanking Xiao Mu. "Don't worry about it. Help me get rid of these thieves first," Xiao Mu urged. A few moments later, as they approached a cliff, Xiao Mu observed, "The valley is narrow, but the trees inside are tall. They've probably set traps and ambushes ahead. If we go any further, it'll be dangerous." "Mr. Yellow, does this valley have a name?" Mr. Yellow shook his head. "No. Why?" Xiao Mu wrote something on a tree. "I'm calling it Valley of the Fallen Tree then." What a fitting name, he thought. "Now, where should I die later?" Mr. Yellow chuckled. "Are you here to fight or take a vacation?" Suddenly a voice rang out. "Xiao Mu! Why aren't you moving ahead? Didn't I tell you to lead the way? We were just ambushed by thieves." "There's a valley up ahead, likely filled with more ambushes," Xiao Mu replied. "That's your job," Lieutenant Chu snapped back. "Ambush or not, it's none of your concern. If there really is an ambush, we will come to assist you. I see that you're just scared of battle, or are you refusing orders?" Lieutenant Chu said to himself, "It's better if he's refuting. I can kill him immediately and finish the Lord's task." Xiao Mu said, "I'll obey." Lieutenant Chu was confused. "Lieutenant Chu, I truly thank you," Xiao Mu thought, his expression shifting. "From now on, we'll be good bros." Just then, Xiao Mu's wound squirted blood, prompting Mr. Yellow to point at it in alarm. "Boss?" Without hesitation, Xiao Mu muttered to himself, "Getting killed for not obeying the orders of a Class 8 lieutenant sucks. I'll become the man who died fighting thieves. Once I level up, I'll come for you." Suddenly, he fell silent as thieves jumped toward them. "There are 1,000 thieves here. We don't have enough people," Mr. Yellow exclaimed, panic rising in his voice. "What are you waiting for? Run!" Xiao Mu shouted. They started to retreat, but Mr. Yellow insisted, "Boss, risking his life to protect us. Let's also go back," the bald monk urged. Xiao Mu, however, stood firm, facing the bandits alone. "Leave and don't come back. That is an order." Mr. Yellow and the bald monk exchanged puzzled glances. Then a shout echoed from the cliff. "Do not run. Those who refuse shall be killed," Lieutenant Chu added. "So that's how it is. My soldiers must die alongside me?" Xiao Mu thought darkly. "Charge! Boss, if we die together," Mr. Yellow shouted, rallying his courage. Suddenly, Xiao Mu hit Mr. Yellow on the side. "Piss off! You don't want your wife to be a widow, right? You don't want your kid to get bullied in the future. But we can't let you die here alone," Mr. Yellow protested. "If you don't want to die, then stop giving me this bullcrap," Xiao Mu retorted, bracing himself for the incoming arrows and running toward the bandits. "Boss," Mr. Yellow called out, "the things you cannot do, I will do. The things you don't dare to say, I will say. You guys shall not die," Xiao Mu declared, determination burning in his eyes. An arrow struck him in the heart, yet he remained standing as the thieves charged. "So I will die first," he yelled defiantly as he launched himself at the bandits, landing a devastating blow that shattered one thief's eggs. "Don't be a coward. Come at me," Xiao Mu shouted, his voice fierce. "More, give me more," he thought, throwing himself into the fray, ready for whatever came next. He thought to himself, "I can feel a certain strength within me." His eyes blazed crimson red as other bandits jumped towards his back. "It's emerging," he realized, making the thieves fly away with a powerful wave of his hand. Xiao Mu struck a fighting stance. From a distance, Lieutenant Chu observed, "Aura? This kid obtained aura. A warrior who acquires aura by the age of 20 must be incredibly gifted. How many extra breaths can he take before he goes down?" Suddenly, Xiao Mu swung his spear with precision, drawing Lieutenant Chu's attention. Wait, he just obtained his aura. How could it possibly be so strong? No, this is some type of explosive martial art. I see. He used the celestial demon dismantling technique. Ha 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 ha. There's no turning back for him now. He's dead for sure. Boss, Mr. Yellowteeth shouted, his voice tinged with despair. Chow Mu lowered his spear, shockwaves forming around him. Get lost, he commanded, causing Bald Monk and Mr. Yellowteeth to shield their eyes. He stood resolutely, declaring, As long as I, Chow Mu, stand here today, don't you dare cross this line. A thief yelled, Everyone, charge. Don't be a wimp. And they all rushed at Chow Mu. Chow Mu smiled, ready to face them, and used his spear to slice through the oncoming attackers. Bald Monk and Mr. Yellowteeth watched in awe as Chow Mu sacrificed himself for their safety. But suddenly, an arrow struck Chow Mu, piercing through his defenses and hitting him. Mr. Yellow began to cry, drool streaming down his face as snot ran from his nose. They watched as Chow Mu stood amidst a pile of fallen thieves, the soldiers around him weeping for their fallen leader. Chow Mu gazed at the sky, feeling the weight of his actions. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Chu regarded him from a distance. Ha ha, Chow opened up a path for us. We can't let him down. Charge, kill the enemies. He shouted, but then halted, his expression shifting. Ha, mission over, return to the city. As Chow Mu's body glowed, Mr. Yellow protested. Return to the city? But we've only killed a few thieves. We haven't even taken out their base yet. The mountain terrain is too dangerous. Follow my orders, return. Lieutenant Chu ordered firmly. Mr. Yellow spat in frustration. Bah! Now they realize it's too risky? Why attack in the first place? Did they just send the boss to his death? Bald Monk added somberly, What's done is done. Let's bring his body back too. His family deserves answers. I've heard he has a blind sister, and he's all she's got. Sigh. A few moments later, Bald Monk said, Rest in peace, boss, as they gently recovered Chow Mu's body. Chow Mu, looking on from a higher plane, sighed while watching them. A system notification chimed in. Death rating, B skill points awarded, 25 skill points remaining, 19 skill points decreased from skill growth, 37-day revive limit, 4 out of 5 skills. Mortality Punch Advanced Aura, 100% Mastery Expert, 100% Celestial Demon Dismantling Technique, 100% Crotch Technique Advanced. 100% Effective Aura Beginner Rewards. Increased Aura. Chow Mu exhaled in success and said, Yes. He dreamed of the training he should have done but hadn't, drooling like a crazy dog as he thought. Death rating B. This is insane. It increases mastery so much for just one death. If C-class death is something someone can obtain in 10 years with 100% of their time devoted, then B-class death is something someone can obtain in 20 years with 150% of their time devoted. This is awesome. I wonder what an A-class death would be like. Heh. Suddenly, he noticed something and thrust his spear with newfound dexterity and precision, instantly stabbing an ant in its back and killing it without spilling its guts. A high-quality death brings so many additional benefits, he mused as the ant's soul emerged from its body. Now I will have to thank my bro who killed me. Lieutenant Chu felt a chill run down his spine, shivering. Brr, it gets cold so soon. A few moments later, he looked at a tree nearby and noticed words carved into it. Valley of the Fallen Tree? Mr. Yellow exclaimed. The boss left it here, Bald Monk cried. The boss suspected an ambush before going in, but he couldn't refuse orders. Perhaps he knew he was going to die then. Boss sacrificed himself for us, Mr. Yellow wailed, his heart heavy with grief. Lieutenant Chu called out, Hey, what are you guys carrying? As he dismounted from his horse. Sir, it's just the body of Centurion Chow Mu, Mr. Yellow replied, his voice trembling. Chow Mu's corpse? Lieutenant Chu echoed, incredulity etched on his face. This son of a witch. There's no way he's allowing this. Chow Mu died honorably while fighting thieves. His body shouldn't be left exposed in the wild. Once we return to Yan City, I'll personally see to his funeral arrangements, Lieutenant Chu declared. It's all your fault, Mr. Yellow thought bitterly. Lieutenant Chu mused to himself, Chow Mu took down so many thieves, yet all the credit falls to me. I really ought to thank him for that. Hopefully, more of these hot-headed kids join the army. Now, with the Lord's order complete and the young master satisfied, I'll leave the corpse to them for disposal. Maybe the Lord will promote me. Oh right, doesn't Chow Mu have a sister? Don't worry, I'll take good care of her for you. Suddenly, a spear pierced through Lieutenant Chu's neck, and he spat out strawberry juice as he collapsed to the ground, crying out in pain. He trembled as he gazed up at the cliff above, where he saw a figure resembling Chow Mu, Tears streamed down his face as he shivered in fear. A system notification echoed in his mind, Lieutenant Chu, dead. An attack! A soldier shouted, panic rising in the ranks. Who is it? Show yourself! Another soldier yelled, confusion spreading through the group. Bald Monk and Mr. Yellow Teeth were sweating, and Mr. Yellow said, "The shadow on the mountain just now. Did you see it?" They turned to look at Xiao Mu's corpse. "I saw it," Bald Monk replied. "It's the thieves' ambush." Mr. Yellow nodded. "Right, it's the thieves." A soldier shouted, "The thieves are back, they're too strong." Panic spread as they all abandoned Lieutenant Chu. "Retreat!" they cried in unison. Xiao Mu laughed from the cliff, feeling exhilarated. "This is insane!" Lieutenant Chu was a Class 8 warrior, and he didn't even sense my attack. After the B-Class death, I now exceed Class 8. I was able to control the celestial demon dismantling technique, and used it the moment I released the spear, resulting in a broken arm, but not my death. This type of self-sacrificing one-shot skill is literally built for me, he chuckled darkly. And I killed Lieutenant Chu. These soldiers will definitely search for the killer, and I'll die again. Suddenly a soldier shouted, "The thieves are here." Xiao Mu felt a rush of anger. "Ha, they're escaping? Why are they escaping? I already thought of my script." He paused, contemplating. "Wait!" He heard Mr. Yellow's voice calling out, "The thieves are back again." "Isn't that Mr. Yellow's voice?" he thought, exasperated. "Damn you, Mr. Yellow. I sacrificed my life for you, and you won't let me die." Imagining his dreams of a carefree existence slipping away, he slammed his fist into the ground, shattering it. "Oh, with you yelling, everyone thinks the thieves killed Lieutenant Chu, not me. How will I increase my rating?" However, he realized the thieves were indeed nearby. How convenient. With blood dripping from his arm, he shouted, "You retreated just to ambush me. Come at me. None of the Chow family are cowards. I will not bow down to you thieves. I'm already half paralyzed and easy to kill. Please just kill me already," he thought, feeling the desperation creep in. The thieves trembled, sweating in fear as they saw Xiao Mu, who they believed had died earlier. They all began to run. "It's a ghost. Hey, didn't you die already? I shot an arrow at you before. Why don't you have a wound?" one of them shouted. Xiao Mu sprinted toward them, calling out, "Don't be scared. I'm already dead." "I'm my brother, Xiao Lin." "What the freak? Do you know what you're saying?" a thief questioned. "I'm my brother?" Xiao Mu corrected himself. What I mean is, you killed my brother Xiao Mu. I'm here to avenge my brother," one thief remarked. "He does look a bit older. I also saw him kill his own captain. Do you really believe him? He's a ghost who wants our lives," another thief countered. "Please spare us. Stop following us," a third thief cried, praying as they ran. Suddenly, they halted in their tracks. Xiao Mu looked at them, puzzled, when a dark figure emerged, its eyes glowing red. "It's the boss," the thieves shouted in terror. "Boss, help us. There's a ghost." Xiao Mu ran faster. "Thief King?" Getting killed by the thieves got me a B-class rating. If I get killed by the Thief King, it'll surely be an A-class for sure. "Wang Song He, I'm here to avenge my brother," Xiao Mu called out. Thief King Wang Song He stomped the ground, causing Xiao Mu to stop in his tracks. The Thief King mused. "You're the Thief King Song He?" Xiao Mu asked, looking at him seriously. Thief King Wang Song. Warrior Xiao Mu was shocked as Wang Song. He introduced himself saying it's Thief Wang Song. Wang is my last name, and Song, he is my first name. Xiao Mu was silent, and Wang Song he laughed. He laughed, a harsh sound, then coughed up blood. Xiao Mu thought to himself, the thieves' leader is a weak scholar. He's got to be faking it. The thief said, "Boss, he said he's Xiao Lin, the brother of that centurion Xiao. He also killed that lieutenant." Thief King Wang Song. He fixed a serious gaze on Xiao Mu. "Oh?" Xiao Mu stepped back, feeling a rush of unease. Thief King Wang Song. He chuckled heartily. "Ha ha, Centurion Xiao is a brave man. I respect that. Likewise, you who killed Lieutenant Chu are witty and brave. Would you be interested in joining the East Mountain and accomplishing great things with me in this time of chaos?" Xiao Mu was taken aback and confused. "You want to recruit me? Aren't you scared I'll seek revenge for killing my brother?" Thief King Wang Song he laughed again. "There's so much killing in the world right now. What's right and what's wrong?" "You're right," Xiao Mu thought, as an angelic figure played a harp in his mind. But suddenly, the demon within him snapped, and he exclaimed, "But a great warrior should live with no regrets." How can I spend my life robbing people and hiding in the mountains? His inner demon retorted, you can be a thief if you want, but don't try to brainwash me. I, Chao Mu, am just a death-rating grinding machine. Please just kill me already. They all stood in silence, the thieves glancing at each other, bewildered. What is this guy saying? One whispered. Is he looking down on us? Another asked. All he did was kill some lieutenant, a third pointed out. He's looking for a beating, someone else chimed in. The boss invited him nicely, and look at his attitude, a thief sneered. Chao Mu thought to himself, right. You're angry, aren't you? If you're angry, come at me. Cut the act, Thief King Wang Song, he said, a knowing look in his eyes. My friend, why don't you try guessing how so many thieves ended up here? The Yan City governors are like tigers, so you've all escaped here, Chao Mu replied, piecing it together. Chao Mu thought to himself, that reminds me, I was a beggar at one point too. Thief King Wang Song, he nodded, saying, the governors are like tigers. Brother Chao, those are wise words indeed. It is truly hard to survive in these chaotic times. Ha! Of course, Chao Mu replied, feeling a sense of camaraderie. This mountain is a safe haven, built on the courage of our warriors. Though formless, that courage scares away attackers, breaking their spines, Wang Song, he declared, drawing his sword. I, Thief Wang Song, he, wish to be the man who protects this mountain. Brother Chao, I'll ask you one last time, will you join me in fighting for a better life for the people? He pointed his sword toward Chao Mu. I refuse. Your words are great, but whether you are a rebel army or just thieves depends on what you do, not what you say, Chao Mu replied firmly. Would you come to our base and see what we actually do? Thief King Wang Song, he asked. That sounds good, Chao Mu conceded, but internally he thought, although he's recruiting me, if I go to their base and still refuse, they won't let me out alive. I'm going to die again. 15 minutes later. Compared to a thief's base, this is more like a villa. Why are there elders and kids here? Chao Mu asked, observing his surroundings. They're all homeless people. We met them and brought them back, Wang Song, he explained. The flourishing appearance of Yan City is merely a facade created by Lord Guo. Many of the old and weak were removed from the city by him. However, the suffering of the people is not solely his fault. After His Highness lost the war, the Crimson Nation began to shrink. His Highness is now focused on pleasing the divine, so the people under him have started to step out of line. I've heard a bit about the divine before. Can you tell me more? Chao Mu inquired. Wang Song, he responded, looking at your fights, you're using the immortality punch? You're a descendant of the Chao family, and you've never seen the divine? You know about the immortality punch? Are you a part of the martial arts faction? Chao Mu asked, intrigued. Ha 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 ha. The immortality punch is quite unique. It's not just the martial arts faction that can read your style. Brother Chao, let's talk in private. Inside the village, Thief King Wang Song, he showed Chao Mu a statue. This is a divine being. A statue? Chao Mu asked, confused. No, this is someone who trained to become a divine being, Wang Song, he clarified. I kind of get this world now. I feel like I've wasted my time training as a warrior and not a sage. Chao Mu thought to himself, there is a great skill gap between warriors and sages. Could my iron crouch technique hold up in battle? The divine beings and us humans are actually the same race, Wang Song, he continued. Chao Mu suddenly envisioned himself dying peacefully, but Wang Song, he interrupted, saying, but the divine is too proud to acknowledge that. They hire humans to farm divine plants and take in believers for support. However, they actually never bless people, seeing them as mere workers. If humans don't obey, they'll get killed in an instant. The funniest part is that many humans don't even realize this and will work for the divine their entire lives, Wang Song, he added. As Chao Mu thought about a government official saying, working overtime is a blessing? Young people should just follow. He became increasingly frustrated. What type of capitalist act is this? I feel like I've already experienced this in my last world, and I'm starting to get angry. Greater gains mean greater risk. If I want to get the highest rating, it seems like I have to challenge a divine being. What would the system say if I fight a divine? I should try. Suddenly, Chao Mu jumped up, startling Thief King Wang Song he. Brother Chao Lin, what are you? I was born free. Who dares to act all high and mighty? Chao Mu declared, raising his fist as he approached the statue. As he was about to punch the face of the statue, a system notification popped up. I'm breaking your divine statue. You should strike me down with a single beam of lightning, he thought defiantly. He extended his fist, shouting, "I was born free! Who dares to act all high and mighty?" "Hey, what are you doing?" Wang Song, he yelled, alarmed. "Stop," he urged, but it was too late. Suddenly, Xiao Mu's fist was blocked by a sword. "Phew! Thief King Wang Song," he exclaimed, watching as the sword flew from his hand. The sword struck the head of the statue, causing it to crack. Wang Song, he broke into a sweat, and the statue's face crumbled under the impact, sending debris flying. As Thief King Wang Song, he spat blood, Xiao Mu landed on the ground and muttered to himself, "This damn thief dares to try to stop me from dying." He quickly approached Thief King Wang Song. "Didn't you say the divine sages are evil? Why try to stop me then? Also, that was a sage skill that you just used." Wang Song, he replied, "You've misunderstood, Brother Chao. I only practice the sage fighting skill, but I'm not trying to be a sage myself. I'm using the sage skill to counter the divine sages. This divine sage should really die. I truly hope there will be no more sages one day. But Brother Chao, what you did was quite reckless. Breaking a divine statue might get you revenge from the sages or even divine punishment." "Thief King Wang Song," he exclaimed, still trembling and growing angry as he spat blood. Xiao Mu, shocked, spat saliva and said, "That's the effect I'm wishing for. Please strike me down with a single beam of lightning." Wang Song, he continued to spit blood, frustration evident in his voice. Why isn't he listening? "Brother Chao, you're really quite reckless, aren't you? Okay, don't get excited. I get what you mean. I'll be careful in the future," Xiao Mu replied, attempting to calm him. "Speaking of which, since you're using a sage skill to fight the sages, doesn't that mean you can't learn martial arts? Looking back, I never obtained a single sage skill, ever." He thought to himself, the martial arts emphasize one's body, while the sage skill emphasizes one's soul, Wang Song, he explained. "If I really had to compare the two, the strongest sage and the strongest martial artist are about equal in skill. But he hasn't reached the pinnacle of martial arts. Technically, there is no pinnacle for martial arts. The divine sages are powerful not just because of their strength, but also due to their near immortality. Even if they do nothing, martial artists will eventually die of old age. However, the path to becoming a sage requires immense talent, so not everyone can do it. It's also a slow path, demanding decades or even centuries of training. The martial arts path, on the other hand, is a lot faster. If we have more martial arts masters, or if those of the strongest can break the barrier of being mortal, we can defeat the divine sages." As Wang Song, he continued to spit blood, Xiao Mu helped him up, saying, "Take it easy. Take it easy. This means the immortality punch is the martial artist's solution," Xiao Mu realized. "Of course, it's Miss Snow's family heirloom, and I have the system on my side. I can become a martial arts master in the fastest time, and with the immortality punch and the fact I can't die, I'm basically divine too." Imagining himself as a martial arts master with immortality, Xiao Mu suddenly became serious and said, "How would it take 10,000 years to become a divine sage? I'll become one soon." Thief King Wang Song, he thought to himself, this guy seems a bit out of his mind. Did I judge his character wrong? Also, Mr. Wang, do you think I have the talent to become a divine sage? Xiao Mu asked, still pondering his options. But I should still try and become a divine sage too. Only kids make choices. I want everything, he resolved. If you don't have a soul root, you'll have no chance of success, Wang Song, he replied. Xiao Mu looked at Thief King Wang Song, and whispered, Mr. Wang, if I mastered my iron crotch technique, would that count as an iron soul root? Suddenly, a bright light shone, causing Wang Song to cover his eyes and blush from the intensity. Iron soul root? Sorry, I don't really have the experience and can't help you. Please hide away your tool. If you have no other questions, please excuse me. Wait, where are you going? Weren't you trying to recruit me? Xiao Mu called after him. I know you're someone looking to change the world. This small village isn't the place for you, Wang Song, he replied, glancing back. Xiao Lin is too much of a brute. If we keep him around, he's going to mess things up, he thought to himself. But if you let me go, aren't you afraid I'll expose your base location? Are you really not going to kill me? Xiao Mu pressed. Wang Song, he paused, looking back. This kid doesn't seem like the type to do something like that. Besides, we've already stirred the soldiers. We'll be moving soon anyway. Okay, I won't bother you anymore. See you, Xiao Mu said, walking away. Whatever, I'll just take the loss this time. I'll go back to Yan City first. He thought to himself, if I get there fast enough, maybe I'll be able to attend my own funeral. In a different scene at Miss Snow's place, she opened the door and asked, Who are you? Young Master Guo replied, We are the guards of his lordship's son. Chao Mu was courageous during battle, so we are here to offer our thanks in place of the Lord. She's quite a fine woman. Shame that she's a woman though, and a blind one too, young Master Guo thought to himself. What about Chao Mu then? Why isn't he back? Miss Snow inquired. Chao Mu. He's gone, young Master Guo said. Gone? What do you mean by gone? Miss Snow pressed, concern etched on her face. Young Master Guo closed his fan and said, I mean that he's dead. He then tapped the coffin of Chao Mu with a flourish. I don't believe you. Chao Mu wouldn't die so easily, Miss Snow asserted defiantly. As she was about to close the door, young Master Guo suddenly held it open. Ah, my bad. I've already brought his body over, but I forgot to tell you. He then grabbed Miss Snow's wrist and said, Aren't you his family? Please help us verify that it's him. He pulled her outside and kicked the coffin's lid. What are you doing? Miss Snow demanded. He then positioned Miss Snow's face to Chao Mu's corpse. I forgot that you can't see, so I'll describe it for you. All his limbs are broken, and there are at least 50 wounds on his body. His face is also extremely bloody. I can't even bear to look at it. Miss Snow slapped young Master Guo's hand away, shaking her head in disbelief. That's impossible. Impossible? Absolutely impossible. This is fake, his corpse is fake, the coffin is fake, everything is fake. If I say that, would you feel a little bit better? Young Master Guo mocked, watching as Miss Snow trembled in shock. In the distance, a bald monk hid and muttered, They've gone too far. I'm going to kill that shameless brat. Tears formed in his eyes as he trembled with anger. Mr. Yellow Teeth, who was holding him back, said, Monk, don't get too excited. That's the Lord's son. There's nothing we can do. All he can do is boast around. The bald monk replied, When he leaves, we'll help her bury the boss. We should also give her some money to make sure she'll manage on her own. Young Master Guo turned to Miss Snow and taunted, Is this all you've got? You won't even cry. If that's the case, I'll give you something else. He clapped his hands. The soup is here, the cook announced. Everyone is saying that Chao Mu was a brave warrior. How about you try to see how nice this warrior's liver soup is? Young Master Guo smirked. Miss Snow was shocked. Someone, feed her the soup, he ordered as the guards surrounded her. Suddenly her staff dropped to the floor as 2 guards grabbed her. One guard attempted to open her small mouth saying, Drink up. Suddenly Mr. Yellow Teeth took the bowl and began to drink the soup. The guard looked confused as the bowl disappeared. With a thumbs up, Mr. Yellow Teeth declared, Master, this soup is delicious. You piece of trash. Who are you? How dare you steal the food? Young Master Guo yelled, stepping on Mr. Yellow Teeth's foot. The soup splattered on the ground. We are the soldiers of Centurion Chao, the bald monk said. Mr. Yellow is a bit messed up in the head and eats everything. Young Master, please don't take offense. Huh? Are you done messing around? Young Master Guo shot back as Mr. Yellow Teeth tried to hold back his vomit. In the distance, Chao Mu said, It smells so good. Young Master Guo snapped, Who is it? Can't you see that The soup smells so good. Chao Mu interrupted, looking at them seriously. Can I have a bowl of soup too? Mr. Yellow Teeth cried out in joy. Boss! Chao Mu! Miss Snow gasped. Chao Mu? Uncle Fu exclaimed in shock. Young Master Guo stammered, Huh? Impossible! His hand trembled in fear. Suddenly they looked into the coffin and saw Chao Mu's corpse. Young Master Guo thought to himself, How is this even possible? Chao Mu laughed heartily like Santa Claus, saying, Ho, ho, ho. He then approached young Master Guo and examined him closely. Young Master Guo was shocked as Chao Mu pointed his spear at his face. Mr. Yellow Teeth and the bald monk exchanged astonished looks, as did the other soldiers. Chao Mu attempted to stab young Master Guo, but Uncle Fu blocked the attack, hitting Chao Mu's hand. Splurt! Chao Mu looked at young Master Guo, who was stunned. Maybe it's not really the boss. He's even stronger than the boss and a bit more of a brute too. Mr. Yellow Teeth murmured, Chao Mu is already dead. Who are you? He thought to himself, this man's aura isn't that strong, probably no more than class 8. But why was that strike just now so powerful, and why does he look almost identical to Chao Mu? My name is Chao Lin. Chao Mu was my brother, Chao Mu declared, glaring at young Master Guo. As he pretended to mourn for his brother, tears formed in his eyes. Uncle Fu was shocked. With anger, Chao Mu declared, You dare disrespect my brother's remains? Even if I have to die here, I'll take you all with me. Young Master Guo, still stunned, began to sweat. Uncle Fu challenged, Who are you to make such bold claims? Suddenly, young Master Guo ran away, shouting, Uncle Fu, run! We'll come back next time. Chao Mu and Uncle Fu watched as young Master Guo fled with his guards. Uncle Fu huffed in disdain. Xiao Mu's hand trembled as he felt a sharp pain. Perhaps once young Master Guo gets back to his estate, the Lord will come for me. I need to prepare and die again quickly, he thought. Tomorrow, I will bury my brother Xiao Mu at the mountain outside of town, he announced. Uncle Fu realized, this kid is hinting at us that he'll be outside of town and that we can challenge him tomorrow. Oh yeah, I'm hungry, Xiao Mu said. I never imagined I would actually catch up with my brother's funeral. Suddenly, Xiao Mu took a cup from the soup bowl. Mr. Yellow Teeth and the bald monk gasped, "You can't drink the soup." "This is your brother's." Mr. Yellow Teeth spat a rainbow of colors as Xiao Mu bit into the liver. "It's just made of pig liver, not the stuff you were imagining." "Did you really believe his lies?" Xiao Mu teased, noticing the confusion on their faces, with Mr. Yellow Teeth still drooling rainbows. "I also heard that my brother died tragically, with all his internal organs broken. There isn't enough of him left to make soup with," Xiao Mu added, eliciting a sob from the bald monk. Boss's Mr. Yellow Teeth whimpered. "It seems like I've hidden myself well," Xiao Mu thought as Miss Snow tapped his back. He turned to see her and was taken aback. At the Guo estate, young Master Guo reported to the Lord of Yan City, Guo Yan, Xiao Mu's ghost appeared. The Lord of Yan City frowned. "Didn't I tell you to stay at home? What trouble did you cause this time?" Young Master Guo was shocked, stammering for words. "Fu, were you with him too?" the Lord of Yan City asked. "Yes, my lord. Please forgive me. We were just expressing our condolences for Xiao Mu's family. But we saw someone who looks just like Xiao Mu. He claims to be Xiao Lin, the brother of Xiao Mu," Uncle Fu explained. "But that man," young Master Guo began. Uncle Fu interrupted. "From my observation, Xiao Lin is slightly taller and looks a little bit older." "How strong is Xiao Lin?" the Lord of Yan City inquired. "I estimate he is class 8. However, he's injured, so he is currently no stronger than the strongest class 9. "Nothing to worry about," Uncle Fu reassured. The Lord of Yan City stomped his foot in frustration. "Xiao Mu just died and now Xiao Lin arrives. This man is not that simple. Yes, the Emperor is coming and I'm very busy. I don't have the time to care about these small matters. Fu, go take care of it. Remember, if you don't kill them all, one day they will come back to haunt you." "Yes," Uncle Fu replied, determined to carry out the command. Thank you so much for watching. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to help me grow my channel. Your support means the world to me. Don't forget to leave a comment below. I love hearing from you. Let's keep the conversation going and get those analytics buzzing. Until next time, take care.